Good day. I'm Astrologer Lateesha Hinton with Soul Spread Wisdom, and today I am continuing my series on Chiron in the natal chart through the houses. Today we will be discussing Chiron in the natal chart in the 8th house or in the 8th place. So if you were born with Chiron in the 8th house, we understand that Chiron is the wounded healer. And the initial wound of Chiron was a rejection of his mother when he was born because he did not look normal. And with that, wherever Chiron shows up in the natal chart, there is a fear or a sensitivity to rejection in this area of our lives. So as it relates to the 8th house, this can show up as a fear of rejection when you are needing to be intimate with someone. So when we look to the 7th house in ancient astrology, it shows the setting of the person. So where you end and another begins, another joins with you or joins your life in a partnership. And this is by marriage, or if you make a committed bond with another person to live with them, or if you enter into a business contract, if you agree to work with someone as a team member, this is all 7th house. So once we move from the 7th house, we progress into a place of knowing, of deep intimacy, and that shows up in the 8th house. So when we have the Chiron in the 8th house, there is a fear of being truly intimate, of letting someone see who you truly are. This can show up with fears as it relates to sex, fears as it relates to money, fears as it relates to sharing history of trauma or pain or drug abuse or anything that would be ugly that you want to hide from the world. So as it relates to a fear of rejection sexually, Chiron here in the 8th can indicate that you could be a person who holds back sexually. You don't want to give or share all that you are sexually. And there can be a selfishness, of course, depending on the sign placement. There can be a selfishness as it relates to how you perform sexually with your partner. You don't necessarily want to give all. You don't necessarily want to be free in giving all of this part of yourself. And your partner could walk away feeling that they could feel that you did not really give yourself to them fully, that they could feel an inhibition that you have. You know, with Chiron here, there could have been a discussion about sexuality and negativity regarding having sex, like in the Christian tradition that I grew up in. You know, there was a conversation about sex before marriage, was a sin and you would go to hell. And so there can be complexes that people have regarding sexuality based on what they heard early in childhood. And with that, there could be blockages. There could be blockages, again, fear of rejection as it relates to being open and giving sexually and sharing with your partner this way. The same thing with money. You could have heard or could have experienced a rejection as it relates to someone sharing with you freely their resources. If your parents could have been miserly with their money and didn't want to share with you. or you could have seen this from your parents or other people adults around you. This fear of sharing and being giving and free with money for fear of sharing, for fear of being intimate in this way. Because as we know, money is an energy. It is an energy. And even sex is an energy. And how we feel about it is an energy of flowing. And so there could be a fear of sharing resources with a partner for fear of them knowing you too deeply, or perhaps you might be taken advantage of, or they might, again, this is a part of your giving. So if you are blocked in this area, if you received a wound in this area, it can be damaging to true partnership, the evolution of the relationship that you've entered into. If you are closed off and not open with sharing with your partner, and there can be a manipulation in this area where Chiron is, because you don't want to feel that you are giving too much. So there could be manipulation, the mind games of having the partner give just to test them, These are themes of Scorpio, because this is Scorpio's house. So that energy is there regardless of what sign it is in. The sign, of course, will change and alter the energy, but this is the energy of the 8th house, where there is again, hidden things. So there can be fear here about even exploring taboo topics like the occult, or anything that would be hidden, astrology, occult knowledge, things that you could have been told when you were early on that they were negative. And so with this, again, a fear of opening up and exploring and examining what it means to be vulnerable, what it means to freely give yourself to, or freely embrace a deeper knowledge and a deeper understanding of spirituality. And even understanding the spirituality that is a part of intimacy as it relates to sex. Just really opening up and learning who someone is, and allowing them to know you as well in all areas of your being. And so where Chiron is, there is a gift, there is an ability and a talent that you have that is unique to you. And so this can show up in a way that you have an understanding of how to help people who have gone through traumatic experiences. This is associated with the 8th house. And so you could do well with people who have experienced any sort of assault that would be hidden, maybe even, sexual assault or sexual abuse, or anything in this nature, or someone who has gone through any type of violence. A person with Chiron in the 8th house could be the person who could just stand and hold space for this person in a very unique and powerful way that other people may shy away from. This house has an association with death as well, death and dying. So you, as a person with Chiron there, you could be a person, once you fully embrace yourself, once you fully embrace who you are and your gifts and your talents, and release this fear of rejection. You could be the person who could work in funeral services and assist families with the loss of their loved ones. You could be the person who knows exactly what to say, when to say, how to say it, and give them a deeper perspective on this transformation of life. Okay, so these are some of the ways that Chiron can show up, and the power and the uniqueness that could show up. And once you, as it relates to, the sex life and intimacy in this area, embracing your uniqueness in this area, embracing yourself, the wounded part of you that was wounded during childhood, embracing it fully could allow you to experience tantric sex, to be able to go to a place of spiritual transcendence during sex with a trusted partner. And this takes, a complete trust, in your partner. And even sharing finances with your partner. This is a place where you could, once you embrace yourself and come to a place of trust. Now, this is not easy because the 8th house and all of the issues of the 8th house are some of the most challenging. Some of the deepest pains are associated with the 8th house. The deepest losses are associated with the 8th house. So a fear, again, of losing money can keep you from sharing with your partner. But once you embrace and move past having a fear of being robbed and stolen from with your partner, this area of sharing and intimacy could possibly allow you to open a business together and share your resources for the greatest good for the both of you, as opposed to it being just separate for fear of being intimate in this area. Okay, so this is what I have to share on Chiron in the 8th house. I thank you so much for listening. Again, my name is Lateesha Hinton with Soul Spread Wisdom, and you have a great day.